Hello and welcome, Exile. Today I want to give you the keys to unlocking full damage potential for unique Tame Beasts. I've been taking a lot of time looking into this, and I have some really good advice to give you for getting maximum damage on these guys. Number one is monster modifiers. If you look at Tame Beast in game, the very bottom line it says Tame Beasts retains up to 4 monster modifiers when summoned. Which that means is when you go out and you capture X Tame Beast, if it has modifiers, it'll be retained. Example here, I went to the Jungle Runes. I captured a Quadrilla. It had extra cold damage and ally suppress, and that is tied to the gem. You can remove this Tame Beast via the vendoring the gem, and it'll give you back a clean gem in case you have like a +1 corruption and you're trying to fish for a better tame. But that's the idea. It'll tie the mods with the capture to the gem, and those are stuck there. Every time you summon this guy, when he appears in game, he will have those modifiers. He will have the ally suppress and the extra cold damage. This is extremely important for damage scaling because some of these mods are insanely powerful. Gain 40%, huge damage multiplier. Hasted, 30% movement speed, 30% attack speed, huge multiplier in terms of how powerful your Tame Beast is. And I want to highlight one in particular, which is extra crits. This mod alone can get your Tame Beast almost to crit cap via that mod plus critical weakness. If you look, for example, at Zakoa the Head Crusher, the Mighty Silver Fist, pretty much all of his attacks are 5 base crit. That's not great. With just the extra crit mods, you go from a 1 in 20 crit chance to a 1 in 5 chance to crit. And then if you add in critical weakness, which gives 0.5 base crit per 1 stack, and you can get 20 stacks, that's 10 base crit, you go from a 20% crit chance to a 60% crit chance, and you have not invested in crit chance at all on your character. But the thing is, that's still a massive damage multiplier. Jewel suffixes, for example, can roll up to 25 crit bonus damage themselves, and that is where you can unlock a big multiplier to your character or to your Tame Beast. Now, that being said, is how do you get monster modifiers on unique Tame Beast? There are tablet mods that say unique monsters have 1 additional rare monster modifier, and this is the holy grail of the Tame Beast. If you're doing a Tame Beast run, this is where you are looking to achieve greatness, and you're going to have to fish for it, and it's going to take some effort. Getting 1 good mod or 2 good mods is going to be something that won't be too bad, but getting 3 or 4 good mods, it is going to be a quest you're going to do all league. For example, Zakoa, if you just look up your unique Tame Beast you're trying to maximize, you can see it on PUDB. It tells you where it spawns, Rupture Riverside. You can use the new quality of life feature where you can control F, search those maps, and you know, okay, this map is where I'm going to find the Tame Beast I want, but I'm going to try to add some modifiers, and then you're rolling the dice. It gets some really dangerous mods that you can then capture and have these massive multipliers to your Tame Beast that a lot of those multipliers, they're stronger than support gems themselves. So that's going to be the holy grail of the league if you're playing Unique Tame Beast is this mod right here. Unique monsters have additional mods, and then using them on the maps that can have that beast. Now, you'll obviously notice if you're a mathematician, 3 tablets, 3 mods, but you can have up to 4. How do you get that 4th mod? And this is where holy RNG comes into play. For example, Jado has a mod called 20% chance to double the effective precursor tablets. So what you could do is you could be running Jado, and 1 of every 5 maps you run, the monster, instead of having 3 mods, will have 6 mods, or you could do 2 tablets and have 2 go to 4. You get the idea. You want to unlock the ability to get an ideal set of modifiers, and this is where you would do that fishing. So that's a huge unlock for power for the Tame Beast. Another thing I want to showcase for Tame Beast that really is just power is using a gem like loyalty, any damage diversion. Eventually this can become Ramirez or Banquet, which will give you recoup to your character. Stuff like that will feel fantastic, and I'd highly recommend using things like this for your defensive layers. Just wanted to point that out because it's really, really useful. Another big damage increase you can do to your Tame Beast is utilizing some of your extra spirit reservation space for skeletons. A, because clerics will keep your companions healed up, but B, because Pain Offering is insanely strong damage. Whenever you proc this, it's giving all your companions good attack speed and good percent damage, and you can obviously scale it with things like Dance Macabre and things like Sacrificial Offering, which give you both or offering effect scaling to get even more bonus from this. Now, one thing to note is this will require you to have more int on your gear because all of these gems require int in order to use. So it'll make your attribute requirements harder to get. But I do think it's worth looking into because it's a very nice damage multiplier as well to help scale your damage on your companion. And the elephant in the room that you may be looking at is there are some parry shields we have here. And I have to say, I see the irony in these things being in my inventory because I am a known parry hater. But hear me out. When you're playing a Tame Beast build, you have pretty much no skills you need to regularly use while mapping. It's going to be super chill in terms of like you don't have to really press buttons. Does it really hurt to press one button at the start of each fight for half a second to double your damage for the entirety of the fight? Think about it. It's just too strong to ignore. Parry, for example, I want to showcase how ridiculous this is. Notice right here. Gianor is about to do his beam ability. Parry is an ability where you just click and hold, and until it procs, once it procs, it'll move you out of the parry, it'll proc the parry, and it'll give a short stun to the boss and cancel whatever attack they're in the middle of. It requires no skill, no real effort. You just hold parry to start each of your engagements, and the first attack the boss is going to do is going to get parried. Pretty much everything, for the most part in the game, is parryable. For example, notice he starts laser beams. I hold parry. I didn't have to time it. I saw he was doing the mechanic. I just said, okay, I'm going to click parry. Stuns him out of the mechanic. And then all of a sudden, I don't have to deal with the most dangerous part of Gianor. The important thing here about parry is parry makes enemies take 50% more attack damage for 2 seconds. And that's important because you can scale this. Not only can you scale the duration via things like support gems, if you notice here on my skill bar, you can see parry duration 2 seconds. I put in the more skill effect duration, it goes to 2.7. You can scale the duration, but not only can you scale the duration, you can scale the effect it applies to enemies, which I said was 50% more attack damage taken during the duration. There's nodes right here: debuff duration, debuff magnitude, debuff magnitude, debuff magnitude, debuff magnitude, debuff magnitude, debuff duration. You get where I'm going with this. You start the fight out with a half a second parry. Then for the next 10 seconds, the debuff is applied. You can scale this up to like 10 seconds with a bit of skill effect duration and the parry nodes. All this would require is just setting up your second weapon set with a parry and then grabbing the parry nodes essentially. And there's enough magnitude on the tree alone. You can get over 100% parry debuff magnitude just on your tree with weapon set passives, which would take you to 100% more attack damage taken. And it would just require your second weapon set, half a second of effort at the start of each fight. And that's it. That's all that would be required to proc some very powerful additional damage multiplier. It's probably what I'm going to end up doing on my character because let's be honest, the monkey's going to be pretty much doing everything. So does it really hurt me to take half a second if I want to literally double the damage output of the monkey? That seems pretty worth it to me. Cutting into the video because I forgot to highlight some other really cool things that we noticed with the new JSON file is they did add back the Izmiri line that your unique tame gets Izmiri beast modifiers every 20 seconds and it rotates. This previously, when they originally showcased it, just was going to apply to all tame beasts. They said that's too powerful. They took it out. They showcased the new node with no Izmiri line. And then this new file showcases that it only applies to the unique tame beast, which is really cool because the Izmiri spirit bonuses, if you look through them, is a lot of really nice damage multipliers that can apply to your tame beast. I went through all of these and it's roughly 11 possible multipliers you can get. 9 of them are damage. 2 of them are pure tank. 2 of the purple ones are pure tank, but 9 of them are pretty good damage, like 30% speed, percent damage, gain damage, all damage poison, stuff like that. Really, really cool. And then another thing I want to highlight is for the build, if you're looking to min-max your damage for the character or just your league start, I went ahead and I made a buy list for the character. Basically, what this buy list is, it's a way to make searching for your items a bit easier, a bit more streamlined. All it is I have a bunch of weighted sum searches for rare items where I tried to value how much each affix is worth roughly. I set the weighting pretty low, so on League Start it should be able to showcase Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 items. And then when you want to upgrade it, you simply increase the weighting. This is how you work this right here. I would click search here. It shows items that have this weighting. If you click the sum at the bottom, it can sort to the highest weighting in the category. You can also do things like say, you want to say my limit of my budget is 10 exalts. That's the most I can afford. You search for that. And then you could say, well, I want to cut out some of the middleman. So let's look for things in my budget that have 120 waiting. Or maybe you can click by this and see this is the most powerful item, roughly give or take, in this price range for my character. So that's what it is. You can adjust waiting. You can adjust the weightings if you think you value some of these stats more than I do. That's what that is. And most importantly, when it comes to scaling a minion character's damage, it relates to gem levels via the amulet, the scepter, the helmet, and then things like the jewel modifier. So specifically, I'd look at those things when you're really wanting to start pushing your damage upgrades north and basically make it go up. Those are the things. And on those searches, I made to have some mandatory mods where you really want to have a +1 level if you're searching for an amulet. You really want to look for some plus levels if you're searching for a scepter. Same thing with helmet. Your initial upgrades for those items should go for gem levels. Gem levels are still insane in this game, and that's just what I wanted to highlight here. The way you get this trade search list, by the way, on the build folder or the build guide here, all the way, if you go to just the Act 1 tab underneath the Act 1 gearing section, there is an import. All you have to do is Control C this entire string of text, use the better trading extension, and click import folder. It should say Spirit Walker, Beastmaster, 14 bookmarks, save, and then all of a sudden you can use the weighted sum searches I've set up for these items that are nice for getting yourself some early upgrades for your character. Back to the rest of the video. So I just wanted to highlight some of the more effective things we can do with the unique Tame Beast to multiply that damage. And these are some of the things I'm going to be looking into doing on my run. And I just wanted to highlight those for anyone looking to do a unique Tame Beast. These things I thought were very powerful outliers to help scale that damage. As always, thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care and peace out. Have a good one.